A good friend is someone who respects you with sincerity, no matter when he looks at you, whether you are in the wrong or in the right. He just wants to respect you and stay away from all forms of conflict with you, because he feels he has no responsibility whatsoever for anything that will happen to you. A close friend is someone who always wants to understand your situations, share when you feel you need each other, walk and play together, fill each other's emptiness, and cover up weaknesses. Because in his heart, he has grown to you as the best friend he has, but at certain points, he will tend to prioritize his own or his family's interests compared to your needs, until one time he will easily leave you. A true friend is someone who will defend you with all his inner and outer self, more than just a string of words, a span of a distance, or with the passing of time. He will always position himself as a life bumper to protect you, which he will even ignore his own safety just in order to defend you. Do you know why? Because he doesn't just consider you merely as a good friend or just a close friend, but he has agreed with his heart that you are a part of himself. And if you ever meet a person like that, then take care and look after him well, because something like that, you will only find it once in your lifetime. Find someone who deep down in his heart is proud to have you. He or she who will feel anxious if he is far from you and sad if he has to lose you. He or she who with all his sincerity wants to fight for you, respects you, appreciates you, cares deeply about anything that concerns your needs and loves you sincerely, freely without any conditions. Because not everyone who wants to be your partner, who is very close and even loves with you, is someone who truly sincerely wants to be your lover. Not infrequently, people with fake hearts play a role with perfect acting when he is in front of you, until you are fooled by it. But in reality, he is only targeting something valuable in you for him to have served or for him to have, until finally, when the initial goal of being close to you has been achieved, he will leave you behind without the slightest impression and a message. No matter whether you are in a state of falling down or in a normal state, he considers you nothing more than a stepping stone or just a passing wind. Then he can use to lift himself to the top of the ladder higher than he has ever achieved. But believe that people with cunning hearts at some point, he will pay for what he has completed with or without you realizing it. But if you are lucky, surely you will be able to witness with your naked eyes about the bad things that will befall him. But if you are able to forgive him so that he can immediately be free from the punishment that is currently hitting him, that is better for you. But remember, forgiving does not mean forgetting. Forgiving does not mean returning to being together as before. Because what has been tangled and stained, it will never be the same again. If your absence has no impact, then your presence will have no influence. So never force yourself to stay in one situation where your existence is not appreciated at all in their eyes. Find a new conducive environment where you can give and receive, need and be needed, appreciate and be appreciated, respect and be respected, until life that only happens once can be alive and truly alive. Because basically, humans are social creatures who are interconnected with each other. Your life task is not just about being rich, famous, just highly educated, or being perfect. The true essence of life is to be meaningful, to be real, to be useful not only for yourself personally, but also for the people and the environment around you where you live. And most importantly of all, Your existence is not a thorn or a threat to your fellow human beings, because the worst of human beings is he who has no benefit at all, whether for himself or for others. So, you are a whole person who deserves to live in the world as God has been appointed for you. When day by day you live feels so long and increasingly full of difficulties until you start to want to stop and give up, remember, there is still tomorrow that you will never understand about what kind of glory God will bestow upon you after you have passed all forms of life's trials. There is not a single great achievement that can be achieved with all the years. It is better today you are covered in sweat and tears, even with drops of blood, to achieve high ideals that have made you unable to sleep soundly. But in the future, you will be able to live in glory. Rather than today, you live in many conveniences, but in the end, you have to experience sorrow, covered in blood and tears. So, work hard in the early days and be sure that God belongs to every creature until later you can carve your own history with gold ink to be able to tell your descendants that their grandparents were great people who started by crawling from a low social strata, and make them puff out their chests with pride when they know your achievements. But they will remain humble and bow their heads when they understand the starting point, that where you came from. In real life, you don't really lose the friends you have. You are just learning to recognize who are the people who truly friends and who are those who only aim to take advantage of you. A person who truly defends you, even though you are not around him, even if he gets nothing for his attitude of defending you, he is the typical figure of a friend that will be very difficult to find like that afterward. So take care of his feelings if you have a friend like him. But sometimes, you will find various kinds of fake-hearted people, those who are only good at putting on a sweet face when they are right in front of you, to please you with certain intentions for their own personal gain. There are also times when the type of person who seems to really support everything you decide when they are in front of you, but when one day they are behind your back, they even have the heart to stab you from the back just to achieve his ambitions that has been long buried in their heart and mind. You just need to be wise and alert in dealing with situations like this. Stay away from whoever you should avoid and embrace whoever you should embrace. Do not only make them as good friends, but also as part of your extended family. Never run away from something that hurts you. That way, instead of being free from pain, on the contrary, you will be hurt even more by the pain itself, because what you avoid from outside yourself as pain is nothing more than just something that triggers, while what you feel as the pain from the pain itself is the pain from within yourself. Face it steadfastly with all your fortitude. Be hurt until you get healing, because the scratches of wounds that will be left by pain, it will become a historical monument within you to make you stronger and able to survive in facing all kinds of attacks or obstacles throughout life. A person can be said to be steadfast if he has become accustomed to pain and no longer feels pain as pain. A person can be called strong if he has been able to get used to the pain itself, until what he initially felt as pain transformed into an important part of his life, as a driving force to trigger new things that are more positive, starting from pain, until he changes it into step that he must experience in order to reach the peak of glory. And in the end, he is able to change the pain as part of the pleasure that he has now succeeded in achieving with the capital of resilience and tenacity. The weakness of carelessness is recognizing and understanding the various forms of every limitation. Is the initial trigger for many conflicts and disputes in all aspects of life. For this reason, cultivate an attitude of caution and alertness from an early age, deep in your heart, soul, and mind. Because with this attitude, you will understand much more about boundaries, what should be and what should not be, what is allowed and what is not allowed, which ones are dangerous, which ones are free from all risks, which ones will cause harm, and what things will be able to provide peace and serenity to the hearts of many people. There are so many disputes that even trigger big wars between nations from time to time, swallowing up so many lives and possessions. It happens only because it is caused by people who sit in seats of power, while deep in their hearts they don't know the meaning of boundaries themselves. Where the big ambition that is lurking in the heart and mind has no longer care about rights and obligations, whether for himself or for others. A wise man with a good character is someone who understands when he should speak and when he should be silent, when he must be firm in taking action, and when he must remain seated observing and just listening. So, look for and get lots of things that will make you understand. Instead of busying yourself, look for trying various things so that you are being understood. Stop being afraid of everything that has the potential to trigger you to make a mistake. Be enthusiastic in seeking many things that have the potential to make you do various kinds of truths. Everyone will never reach the maximum limit of intelligence if they don't first experience the minimum limit of stupidity. No human being on earth will succeed in achieving their achievements before first falling into failure. Because the nature of the world is to start from nothing until whatever it is will exist because it is attempted to exist. Basically, every event around the world, from era to era, is the same. The only difference is the time and the perpetrators. In the political world, there will always be clean and dirty games. In the world of religion, there will always be obedience and disobedience from its adherents. In the realm of government, there will always be conflict, defection, and power struggles. All of that will always repeat and continue to repeat in each generation one to the next. You are only required to learn and try, while the left path that you must follow has already been written and determined in the great book of Him who is up there. So, don't be feeling down when you are still below, and don't be arrogant when you are above, because the world is nothing more than just a game. An umbrella will certainly never be able to stop the rain, but it will certainly be able to protect you from getting soaked when you walk or stand in the pouring rain. High self-confidence will certainly never be able to take you to the peak of success, but it will be able to give you great strength to be able to survive all kinds of life's attacks. Likewise, the days that continue to roll sometimes feel so ridiculous, even annoying. We who come from nothing then struggle hard to try to make a situation happen, but in the end, we must also leave the situation that we have painfully created, even with sweat, blood and tears in its provision, to return to nothingness itself. So, what other arrogance and strength do you want to show before God? Then, do everything without being excessive until it goes beyond the limits of reasonableness. Do what you can do as it should be. Love what you need to love as it is. Have whatever you want to have according to the level of your ability, but only to God will everything return. No one is perfect as long as you are still alive in the world. If you intend to go away from the negligence of others just because of the mistakes they made to you, then you will only be a lonely person who lives alone in living your days. Only you have the right to determine the path and purpose of your own life. So, immediately stop always being busy looking for scapegoats for the various failures that have befallen you. Every mistake from failure that you intentionally or unintentionally make, all of that is your full responsibility as an individual. You will never be able to improve yourself from adversity, or else you will not be able to change mistake into improvements if you are only busy blaming all your weaknesses on the existence of other people around you. All you need is to introspect, raise self-awareness, to investigate what mistakes you have made, until all of that cause your adversity from yesterday to today, and after finally stand strong as a whole person who is never surprised to always be ready to face all kinds of shocks in life and not surprised when receiving a gift that you never expected before. Greetings.